Hey guys, if you've been struggling with passing, we've got the video just for you. Make sure you stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the Better at Beach YouTube channel. Today, I'm gonna be working with 3 different athletes, Bree, Brittany, and Eric, and we're just gonna be going over some passing fundamentals and tips that they can use to become better passers. During this video, you're gonna notice that we start off with free ball controlled passing, and you're gonna see that all of these athletes can handle free ball passes very well. Then we're going to introduce a serve, and you're gonna see that that's when some of the trouble points really pop up. And the main part of this video is showing you that fundamentals are everything. So no matter what skill level player you are, whether you are a beginner or you are a pro level player, finding your fundamentals and keeping your fundamentals, whether it's a free ball pass or a serve, are going to make you a better passer. So one thing I really liked was you have a really good shape to your upper body. Okay, so normally when people pass, you'll start to see them have a very strict back, but you do a really good job of rounding your back, which definitely makes it easy. The one thing that I would like for you to focus on for this next round is really thinking about having a strong base. So sometimes you get into this position where you get into like a lunge, and when we get into a lunge, we get a little wobbly down here, which can affect our platform as well. Okay, so one thing I want you to think about is once you have this shape and you find it, try to stay in this position the whole time. So if we think about our feet being next to each other, wherever we move, that's where we want to stay in this position. So like if I'm going to my left, then I can be here. That way I have my strong base. I still have this really good shape that you have, and that'll allow me to make my pass and concentrate on my angle. Okay, so let's just see what that looks like. Good, real quick. So another thing that I want you to focus on, I think this might help you with your movement, is I want you to think about trying to stay square to the net the whole time. Okay. So like when you're moving, everything should be in line. Okay. So even if you're coming for, exactly. Okay. So like if you notice a couple of those passes, you're starting here and then you're really finishing towards her. Okay. I don't really need you to finish towards her. You can be here and then just angle that platform. That way the ball is doing more work than you are. Okay. Yes, good. Good. Move her around a little bit. Good. Nice job. Nice job. Good. Do you see how you have the like even on that one you wanted to open up that right shoulder? So something that I say a lot is whichever way you have to move, it's really important to think about pushing that shoulder to the net. So like, okay. and I'm not saying that you're never gonna pass the ball outside your shoulders or behind you, but if we can think about trying to get into this position, that's gonna help us out a lot. So if we're going back here to the right, instead of allowing our right shoulder to drop off, which is gonna happen sometimes, but I'd like to see you try to round that shoulder around or bring it around so that it's getting closer to the net on your finish. Okay. So you get that right shoulder around, yep. Good, great pass. Good, let's make sure our base is strong. I shouldn't see any hops. Do you feel that little hop? Yeah. So that shows me that, exactly. Okay. Yeah, so if you can, we want to, like if I took a picture of you every single time you passed, I should see you in the same position with your hips back, your arms out in front, but when he's tossing a ball that's high and deep at you, instead of moving back with your feet, you're just standing up and letting that ball come to you. Good. Yes. Good, one more. There it is. So did you feel how that one, you didn't have this big pop at the end? Yeah. So, and like you're skilled enough to where when you get a good serve, you kind of have a good idea of where your platform needs to be and what you need to do to get that ball to your target. But we kind of want to do the opposite. So like you're good enough also to get your platform there and create a good angle and allow the ball to do all the work for you. Okay. Right? Because eventually what's going to happen is if we start relying on our touch more, then when we start to get fatigued at the end of matches, we start losing that touch. But one thing that we don't lose is just our fundamentals. So like if you can think about just creating a strong angle and letting the ball do the work, then that's something you can do whether you're tired or not. But if you are tired and you're trying to use touch, that's when things can get messy. Good. Okay, 1 second. All right, so your base is really good. So it's kind of good that we have different style passers. I think I need you to relax your upper body a little bit. Okay, so you're the passer where Bree has this really good shape to her upper body and it's really rounded. You're very strict. So one thing I want you to think about is if there is like a PVC pipe across your body, I want you to think about getting over that PVC pipe for your platform. So now it should feel like you're stretching your back and that's gonna force you into that rounded motion. So still pretty strict. Let's, 1 second, go ahead and show me what it looks like to get, yeah, so that's what I want you to feel like every single time you're passing. And let's do it the whole time. Okay. So like, because remember, we normally would start in this position, right? And then when we're ready to serve, let's go ahead and just put our arms over so that we can move in this position. Yeah, there you go, good. Good, keep finding that rounded back, good. Another way you can think about it is by acting like you're doing a crunch. And I know your ab is hurting a little bit, but if we can think about getting this crunch to allow your back to round a little bit more, I think that'll help. There you go. Good. Good. Nice. Good. 1 second. So now we're gonna do 4 more. I want you to still think about that shape a little bit. Okay, so we're still, right now you're fighting yourself out of it. Okay. So you're giving me the rounded back before she tosses, but then right when she tosses, you're going back to the straight position. So let's try to fight through that a little bit more, and it's gonna feel weird. And the other thing is I want you to make sure that when you pass, you don't have to go anywhere. Okay. Okay, right now after you're passing, you're kind of stepping back every time. Yeah. And that pass is starting to fall off the net more and more, and that'll keep that pass a little bit tighter. Good. Here you go, 3 more. See that backward step? Yep, that's one we're trying to avoid. Good, nice job, way to hold your ground. Last one. Good, so the feet looked a little bit better, but we're still getting that step back, so next time we go, let's really focus on putting ourselves into a position where we can hold this finish and not have to step backwards. Okay. And then I think once we get stable here, this will allow you to find that shape a little bit better too. So it's kind of crazy because we have 3 very different style passers. You're very arm dependent. So you swing a whole lot with your platform. Even if we lower the pass for a little bit, because right now the reason that you're swinging is because you want this ball to have this really nice, pretty peak. And that's good, but it's gonna start to play around with your accuracy a little bit. So what I'd rather you do is focus on putting this ball to a spot, and then if we need to add energy throughout the round, I'll tell you. Okay. But for right now, let's just see what happens when you set up your angle. If you need to give it a little bit of a push, maybe 2 inches, but right now when you're making your move, you're finishing with your arms like above your shoulders. All right? Yes, good, really good fix. I like it. Good, I like that one a lot. Good. Good. Same thing, keep holding that finish. Good. All right, so this is me being very picky, and you actually didn't do it too much, but I can see you starting to think about it, is I want you to make sure that when you set up your platform, you are going ahead and straightening your arms, okay? Because right now when you're starting to move, you're starting to bend those elbows a little bit, and then you're having to recorrect to get to straight. Okay. So what I normally say is make your arms uncomfortably straight. Okay, so like I'll have my arms here and I'll straighten them out, and then when they drop off my arms are still straight, and I just make all my movements here, and I hold, and that way when I get to my spot, all I have to do is put my hands together to make my pass.
Yeah, and that was something you were saying in practice earlier.
Yeah.
I'm running with my arms.
Right, yeah, so keep those arms down. It's all right, good. Keep concentrating on those straight arms. You can give me a little bit of a swing, not a whole lot though. Yeah, there you go. Here you go, 2 more. Good. There's that 2 more still. There's a little arm bend, and I want you to make sure that when we're making this pass, we feel strong down here. Pass. Right now, you kind of look like you're stepping up and kind of moving away from your pass. Good. Yes, good. Here you go, last one. Good, nice job. Did you feel how you had to fight a little bit extra on that one because it was a little bit higher?
Forward, yeah.
That was good because most of the time when that happens, people stand up and they lose their head. But what you did is you kept your head down. I could see you keeping that crunch a little bit, and that allowed you to push it to target. Kind of moving straight from last time. The shape is great. Let's keep focusing on staying towards the net as long as you can. So when we have these movements, we're moving in this direction, right? We're not opening up our shoulders to make this pass. And then angle your platform. Yeah, so once we get here, that's gonna allow us to get that platform out there quick and make sure that that ball is going to the target. And if it doesn't go there for right now, that's okay. But that'll allow me to see, maybe it's a foot thing, maybe it's your angle that's wrong, but let's try not to correct. Good, nice job. So already what I'm seeing is like when he serves the ball, you're popping up. Okay, so let's, the form that I've been complimenting you on, for some reason you're getting out of it. Okay, so let's make sure that when we drop into this ball, and even if he serves that ball high, I can look by doing this. I don't need to look by doing this. Does that make sense? So like if that ball is going high, I can stay here and watch that ball come in rather than standing up and letting it come at me. Yes, there you go. Really good. Way to keep that form. Good. Yes. If you can fight that little outwards move at the very end, and that's just me being really picky, but I like that flow. Good. Nice. Oh, so what happened there, that was this one, and then you rotated, right? Yeah. So that's the one where that strong base is gonna be very important. So wherever you get to, that's fine, but you gotta lock in here and then keep that core tight, right? So we're gonna let that ball come into us and really hold that base. It's all right? Yes, very good. One more just like that. Good, very good. Can you feel the difference there?
Yeah.
And and that's the hardest part with passing, is that there's obviously gonna be some balls that you aren't gonna feel completely comfortable, right? Where sometimes you're gonna have to pass the ball out here, you're gonna have to pass the ball off your center line. But the important part is we can't just give up our lower body strength and our core, right? We have to like hold that as long as we can. Did you ever play indoor? Okay, so like with indoor, you've done like a collapse before.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this should feel like, is because when we do a collapse in indoor, we move to the side and we hold this position as long as we can before we collapse to the ground, right? So we have to find that same feeling on the sand, but instead we just do it throughout the pass and then we stay on our feet so that we can get up and hit. In indoor, we can fall down and lay down on the ground and watch our setter set a pretty ball and watch our hitter hopefully get a kill, but up here we got to get up and hit. Let's try to find that shape throughout, right? So I think let's get rid of this idea of the arms. I'm not sure if that's working for you, but let's just really focus on the ab. Yeah, so trying to feel like you're doing a crunch. Good. Okay, I want you to relax when she's serving that ball, don't try to be in her head, right? You can obviously pick up on tendencies, like if she's facing the line, then there's a good chance she's going line. If she's facing the cross, there's a good chance she's going cross. But other than that, don't try to guess if she's gonna serve your left or your right. So let's just be a little bit more relaxed here. And something that I like to do, especially if I'm unsure if a person's doing a good job of serving quick, then I'll try to get in rhythm with that server by kind of floating back and forth. And then once I see that serve, then I can say, okay, it's going to my left, and make a really strong move. But we want to avoid negative steps. Good, nice job. Let's get that platform out there early. Yeah, great pass, nice job. Really good. Oh, good try. See, that's that one, you lost the crunch, right?
stepping
Yeah.
back.
So if we can, try to be here, even if we have to open up a little bit, but we don't want to stand up. Good. Do you feel that backward step again? Ah, there's that backward step again. So let's hold our finish. Hold where you are. There you go, it's better.
Yeah, I gotta think about
Can
it.
you feel how quickly you're retreating out of that
Yeah.
pass? So let's think, this time I want you to think about doing an approach afterwards.
Okay.
Let's see what happens there. Did you do it? All right, so I want you to think about doing that approach.
Okay.
So after you pass, I want to see you give me a quick shuffle and then find a timing step. Good, that was a great pass. Nice job. Good, way to hold that pass. When you do not step back, the pass falls exactly where we want it. When you step back after your pass, that's when the ball is floating off the net too much. Very good. Hey, so that's a huge takeaway that we need to think
Yeah,
about
for
is
sure.
and the ball does what you do, right? So when you're stepping back after your pass, that's when you're leaving the ball too far off the net.
Yep.
When you're holding your ground, that pass, and I think everyone would agree, that pass just looks pretty. It's got a really nice peak. It falls in pretty much the same spot every single time. So let's just keep that simple. Once that ball hits you, hold your finish, hold your ground, and then that way we can move right into our approach. So let's remember minimal swings, okay? And you did a good job last round of realizing that you needed a little bit of power, but that little bit of power gets there by this little movement, all right? And then let's make sure that we're getting a strong base when we're finishing our pass. All right. Good, nice job. Straight arms all the way. Straight arms now. Good, very good. Very good, very simple. I like it. It looked like it just got your arms wrong. It only got your right arm.
It only hit my right arm.
So when I saw you, and this was very, very slight, but it looked like you kind of squared up to Brittany on that one. And that kind of explains why this ball only hit this arm.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
You know, so let's really think about, same thing I was telling Bree, is when that ball comes over the net, let's try to keep our shoulders square a little bit longer. That way we're welcoming in this ball a little bit better. And then we can find our angle this way instead of being this way.
That makes a lot of sense.
Good. And now we see, so you did a great job of finding the angle there. Now we don't need that aggressive push, right? Because it was going to go there regardless, but since you really shoved that ball at the net, that's when it got a little tough. Yes, good. Let the ball do the work. I love it. That's all right. One more move back and you got that. Good, nice job. Oh, close. Bree, can you try to give me another one of those? So what's happening there is the same thing as I think when Bree was going, is that we're making this move, and instead of just, you've already done this much work, keep fighting, right? Because what you did is once you got to here, you stood up. And that's why this pass came off the net.
Get a little further back.
Yeah, so once we get to here, even if it's gonna go deep, that's okay. But we've gotta keep this form, even if we open up to the side. That's okay, good. Let's try to find that same shape, except now let's try to figure out the angle that's gonna get that ball to target. There you go, way to get around it. Yes, that was a lot better. It's still a little bit of a stand up, but if we can, let's try one more, and I really want you to focus on keeping that crunch. Good. So can you feel how hard it is to keep that crunch? And that's like, so if we're in a tournament setting and you're playing against Bree, that's Bree's job as a server, is to get you to stand up out of that position. So like when we hear all the time, we hear about the serving and passing battle, that is what the serving and passing battle is. And so if you can hold that finish throughout the pass, you've won the battle. But if she makes you stand up out of it, then that's when she's won the battle. Okay, so that's just keeping that shape is super important and defining how you can win the battle. All right guys, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you took away something from this video about something that you can work on with your passing. If you don't already, please subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and leave us a comment of something that you want us to make another video about. Also, if you're looking to dive a little bit deeper, we have a free drill book that will give you all these drills that you can work on at home with a friend or by yourself. And if you're looking to dive in a little bit deeper and get more teaching, head over to betteratbeach.com.